Is MX Sim more toxic than MX Bikes? What is up, guys? It is TKO Smokey, and today I'm going to talk to you a little about what Callan mentioned in his latest video, the aerial test track video. And with the news of EMX going down, as I mentioned in a later video, I've talked about starting a series on my own because EMX is going out. Mouk Lab is out. And Callan's latest video, he kind of talks about why Mouk Lab left and is leaving me because of the toxicity of the MX environment, which is, as a creative for the community, is really, really heartbreaking for me to hear. I know that he was on Sim for a long time before he even started working on MX bike stuff. But before I get into what I'm going to say, I'm just going to play this little part of Callan's video, and then we'll kind of go on top of what he said.
But like I said, it also kind of leads into another discussion that I feel is worth, talking about, and that is that Aerial EMX has now ended for the season. I don't remember how many rounds they were in. I think they were only like 1 or 2 rounds into the MX Championship. I could be dead wrong on that.
We were 4 rounds into the series.
I'm not as ingrained in the MX bikes racing scene as I should be just yet, but yeah, it all kind of started or stems back to earlier this, I guess last week now. This guy named Nico Mouk, who many of you guys that play MX bikes are probably familiar with. Nico Mouk and
Mouk, for me, I would consider him a homie. Me commentating for the aerial supercross and then doing the EMX when they decided to do that. So I feel like I've talked to him enough. He's just a really hard worker in general, and he put a lot of his free time into doing this series with Stoner Rider. So this is another reason why it's such a bummer, but I'm going to continue on with the video.
Mouk Labs, who helps run a bunch of servers and stuff on MX bikes. He announced on the official MX Bikes Discord that he would be, moving on from the game. He basically added everybody and said, time has come, time to move on from the game. Talked a little bit about how, 7 years ago he left the sim community because he thought a lot of people were toxic in the community, and it was just, making things really difficult for him to deal with in that community.
And I'm going to just touch a little bit about that. Now, I didn't come from Sim. I came from a console player. I was playing Xbox, so I played all the milestone games, like Reflex. Any kind of game that motorcycle game that came out for console, I've played. That's what I came from. And I've always had a computer, but I never got a gaming PC. And the only reason I bought a gaming PC was to play MX bikes. A lot of my friends from console hopped over, got a PC, and started playing bikes. And they just started sending me videos, and I thought it was really awesome. And so for me, the community was almost like how he's saying, like a safe haven where you can come in, shred some bikes, goof around with your homies, not take it too seriously, and really just, try to like grind and improve on the game. But we're going to continue with this.
What Nico was trying to do to help the community, and he has done a freaking ton for this community. So, it's going to be really sad that he's not going to be around anymore to help out. I often feel like I reference him a little bit as like the DJ99X for you sim players bikes, because he's just done that much for the community, I feel. So it'll be a bummer to see him go, but what it impacted in terms of the EMX championship, the aerial side of it, was that Stone Rider, who was, basically in cohorts with Nico Mouk to run that series, announced the day after that they would be ceasing the EMX championship because he just didn't have, the ability, I guess, at that point to devote all the time that was needed to run that series efficiently.
Again, this situation shouldn't even be happening. Like, the fact that Stone Rider and Nico were taking their time for free, not like they were getting paid or anything, but for free, to literally create these amazing tracks every single week. Whether they were perfect or exactly one-to-one scaling, it really doesn't matter. The fact that these two guys were creating content for people like us who just really enjoy the game, the fact that you don't have to pay You don't have to pay to play. You don't have to pay for bike skins, anything like that. These tracks are coming on the MX Mods website almost on a daily basis for free, and people still find a way to nitpick it. And it's just crazy. Like, if you think you can do better, then you pick up the program, you pay for the program, and you learn to put all the hours in and make it.
But I kind of wanted to, offer my thoughts and opinions on like reflecting on, how this kind of ties into everything that I've seen in the past with MX Simulator, because it does feel very similar to things that I've seen in Sim in the past, where you have, an admin essentially just get fed up with everything and move on. And, that's what Nico has decided to do. And
Kellen's talking about, because Kellen's been in Sim for a really long time, and I don't think it's just Sim and bikes that brings out toxicity. I think it's just the internet community as a whole. It could be gaming, it could be whatever. There's always gonna be someone that's going to troll. You know what I mean? So online, people will say all these crazy things because they don't see you face to face and they feel safe behind their little keyboards and things like that. But as a creative of the community, is MX Sim more toxic than MX Bikes? And the answer probably is that it's all the same. And I really wanted to say that. I mean, it's probably the same. Like, MX Sim is just as toxic as bikes and vice versa. But I came with a solution and more of just a suggestion. Now, I can tell you from my own experience being in chats and being, you'll get some people that will come into your voice chat or whatever, especially when I do these live streams and I let fans come in, and some fans, some friends, but they'll come in and then they just start saying all this, dare I say, racist shit. Like, it gets crazy, some of the stuff that I've heard. As a creator, and I would say pillar of the community, when you're in this small niche community, it is, especially if you have any type of leadership role, like if you have a big community and you have people following you and waiting for you to put out content, it is your job to create a safe place for your community. If you hear someone coming in and talking crap about track builders, now there's a difference in doing like a constructive criticism, like, hey, this was a great track, but maybe next time it would be cool if you did that. Nothing wrong with that. It is your job as a leader in the community to literally filter those people out. Like, don't even give them a shot. We had someone that was really big, who was really helpful in the community, leave because he was just tired of all the negativity. The average person doesn't know how many hours goes into making these tracks, making these bike skins. Anything that goes into this game takes time. And not only does it take time to make, but you have to learn how to run the software before you even start doing it. So, and as an artist myself, I know what kind of time it takes to do this stuff. And so what I'm pushing is just peace and love, guys. Like, I know that's like such a hippie thing to say, but when you're in a community, you gotta lift people up. And that's how you get people having your back, and that's how you create a positive community. So drop your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And as always, guys, I appreciate the support for the channel. We're getting close to 2,000 subscribers. Big